Picture this, Rome over 2,000 years ago. A sprawling city of marble and chaos, of ambition and power. Out of this crucible walks a man destined to change the course of history forever. His name, Gaius Julius Caesar. But before he was a legend, before he was a god, he was just a young man from a noble but not particularly wealthy family. He had charm, he had wit, and he had an ambition that burned brighter than the Roman sun. His early life was a whirlwind. He was kidnapped by pirates, and legend says he laughed in their faces, telling them they should be asking for a higher ransom because he was worth far more. And once he was freed, he hunted them down and had them crucified. That was Caesar, bold, ruthless, and always in control. His rise through the ranks of Roman politics was meteoric. He was a brilliant speaker, captivating the crowds in the forum. He threw lavish games and parties, winning the hearts of the common people, all while sinking into massive debt. But Caesar was playing a long game. He formed a powerful alliance, the first triumvirate, with two of the most powerful men in Rome, Pompey, the great general, and Crassus, the richest man in the Republic. Together, they were unstoppable. Caesar needed military glory to match his political ambition, so he set his sights on Gaul, modern-day France. For nearly a decade, he waged a brutal and brilliant campaign. The Gallic Wars were a masterclass in military strategy. He built incredible siege works, he fought on the front lines with his men, and he won their undying loyalty. He wasn't just their general, he was their comrade. His personal account of the war, the Gallic Wars, became a bestseller back in Rome, basically the world's first piece of brilliant personal PR. But his success made his rivals nervous. Back in Rome, Crassus was dead, and Pompey, now seeing Caesar as a threat, had sided with the Senate. They declared Caesar an enemy of the state and ordered him to disband his army and return to Rome. This was the moment of truth. Caesar stood with his legion, the legendary 13th, at the bank of a small river called the Rubicon. Crossing it with his army was an act of treason, an open declaration of civil war. The penalty was death. He hesitated for a moment, then uttered the famous words, "Alea iacta est," the die is cast. He crossed the river, and there was no turning back. The civil war that followed was swift and decisive. He chased Pompey across the Mediterranean all the way to Egypt. It was there he met another figure who would become a legend, Cleopatra. They became lovers, and Caesar, ever the kingmaker, helped secure her throne. He returned to Rome not just as a conqueror, but as the undisputed master of the Roman world. He was made dictator for life. He launched massive reforms. He revised the calendar, creating the Julian calendar we basically still use. He offered citizenship to people in the provinces, and he started huge public works projects. He was trying to fix a broken republic, but to many he looked less like a reformer and more like a king. And in a republic that had overthrown its kings centuries ago, that was the ultimate crime. A group of senators, many of them men Caesar had pardoned and promoted, began to plot. They called themselves the Liberators. They feared he would destroy the republic they held so dear. On the 15th of March, 44 BC, the Ides of March, Caesar went to a meeting of the Senate. As he sat down, the conspirators surrounded him. One pulled his toga, the signal to attack. They stabbed him again and again, a frenzy of daggers. Legend says that among the assassins he saw a face he knew and trusted. Marcus Brutus, his protege. His final heartbreaking words were supposedly, "Et tu, Brute? You too, Brutus?" Caesar fell at the base of a statue of his great rival, Pompey, his blood staining the Senate floor. The assassins thought they had saved the Republic, but they had done the exact opposite. Caesar's murder plunged Rome into another round of brutal civil wars, which ultimately destroyed the Republic he was accused of threatening. From its ashes rose the Roman Empire, ruled by his adopted son Octavian, who would become the first emperor, Augustus. So was Caesar a hero who tried to save Rome from its corrupt self? Or was he a tyrant whose ambition was so great it tore the world apart? The truth is, he was both. He was a brilliant general, a charismatic leader, and a ruthless politician whose actions, both in life and in death, forged the Roman Empire and shaped the course of Western civilization forever. His story is a timeless lesson in power, ambition, and the thin line between greatness and tyranny.